Stairway to Heaven, I mean, it's gotta be one of the most famous rock songs ever made, right? We all know it, we can all air guitar that solo. But what is it actually about? Seriously. It's a question that's been bugging people for decades. So today, let's finally pull this thing apart and see what's really going on inside. Our whole journey really starts with that very first line. There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. You see it here in German. I mean, wow. That one sentence just kicks everything off, setting up this huge philosophical puzzle that the rest of the song tries to solve. Now, before we get too deep, let's just get a little context. The song first hit the stage in early '71 and came out on the album later that year. And get this, its legacy is so huge that it was still being fought over in court until 2020. It just goes to show you, this isn't just another song. It's a full-blown cultural monument. Okay, so to really understand Stairway, you have to start with the music itself, what this slide calls the musical stairway. Because, the secret to its meaning isn't just hidden in the lyrics. It's literally built into the sound, the structure of the song. Let's dig into that. The whole song is basically a climb, broken into 3 big steps. You know how it goes. It starts out so gentle and quiet, almost like some ancient folk song. Then it starts building, right? It gets more urgent, more layers get added, the pace picks up, and then finally, boom, it just explodes into that massive epic rock anthem. It's a masterclass in musical buildup. And here's the absolute key. That structure, it's not just for show. The form is the meaning. The song is actually taking you on the journey it's describing. It's pulling you right up that stairway along with the story. It's absolutely brilliant storytelling through music. So, if the song is a journey, who exactly is making the climb? Well, that brings us right to our central character, the lady and her path. This is where we get into the real conflict of the song. Now, it's really important to get this. The lady isn't a literal person. She's a symbol. She represents a very modern way of thinking. The idea that you can just buy your way to happiness or spirituality or even salvation. Like it's just another thing you can add to your shopping cart. And this sets up the song's big showdown. It's a clash between 2 totally different ways of life. On one side, you've got buying, the shortcut, the belief that money and stuff will get you where you want to go. And on the other side, you've got listening, the harder path, the path of looking inward, of paying attention, of actually doing the work. But the song doesn't just lay out this choice. Nope. It populates its world with all these strange, cryptic symbols, these warnings in the wind, that constantly poke holes in the lady's materialistic view of things. And get this, the song literally tells us how to approach it. Words have 2 meanings. That's not just a cool line, it's an instruction. It's telling you, hey, listen closer. Nothing here is as simple as it seems. The whole thing is designed to make you think. And this world is just jam-packed with these tricky symbols. You've got the whole glitter versus gold thing, the idea of a path you have to choose, whispers on the wind, singing birds, and of course that mysterious piper who's calling everyone to join him. It's a landscape full of messages, but what are they trying to say? The song basically poses this question, doesn't it? Is nature itself an oracle? The whole world in the song feels alive, like it's trying to tell us something. But here's the thing, the messages are never crystal clear. They're more like whispers, warnings, not roadmaps. All right, so you take the musical journey, the conflicted lady, and this whole world of symbols, and you mash them all together. What do you get? Well, that brings us to the 2 main paths of interpretation that scholars and fans have come up with. So, on the one hand, you can see the song as this powerful takedown of consumer spirituality. It's basically a warning. Hey, you can't just buy enlightenment. It's a call for being real, for authenticity. But there's another way to see it. It could be a kind of map for a journey of self-discovery. The stairway isn't a literal path to heaven, but a metaphor for learning to listen to the world and to yourself. And honestly, this is the most brilliant part. Stairway to Heaven never gives you the answer. It's not a sermon. It doesn't tell you what to believe. Its true genius is that it refuses to give you an easy way out. It just creates this incredible space and says, okay, you figure it out. Which brings us to the song's final and maybe most amazing move. In its last few minutes, the whole thing pivots, and it becomes all about your path to meaning. The song asks one last question, and it's a big one. Think about it. For most of the song, we're just listening to a story about the lady. We're observers. But then, there's a switch. Suddenly, Robert Plant isn't singing about her anymore. He starts singing about you. He's talking directly to us. This changes everything. The story isn't just some fairy tale about a symbolic woman anymore. It becomes personal. It's a direct challenge. Her dilemma is now your dilemma. The choice she faces? Well, now it's your turn. And that's when we get what might be the most hopeful, most powerful line in the entire song. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. It's this incredible message that, hey, no matter what, you still have a choice. So the song doesn't really end with an answer. It ends with a kind of assignment for the listener built on these three big ideas. First, awareness. You've got to see the paths in front of you. Second, responsibility. You own your choices. And third, the decision. Ultimately, you're the one who has to make the call. In the end, Stairway to Heaven turns the spotlight right back on us. It builds this whole elaborate world, leads us all the way up the stairway, and then it just leaves us standing there with one simple but massive question. The one you see right here. Which path do you choose?